Thanks for watching live or listening back to this show from Teachers Talk Radio. You can catch up with all our shows by visiting our YouTube channel or by listening back at ttradio.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe to enjoy more live education conversation from TTR. We hope you enjoy this show.
Outstanding, a world-class vision, a world-class this.
I'm a real leadership geek, honestly. I've spent my whole career reading books and chatting to people.
I just find the whole thing and the announcement, the way it's been announced, bizarre.
If you could move away from a model where teachers are so intensely focused.
Good evening, everybody. Hi. You made it back just in time. Not quite.
I did. Hi.
You're going to the loo at break time.
Do you know what I was doing? I was getting
The cat.
I was getting my much needed
No, it's not the
lip
cat.
balm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not the cats. The cats are hopefully upstairs. Hopefully they'll stay there. But
Yeah, okay.
we'll see. If you hear any screaming in the background, it's the animals. But
You did not collect the children on time from the playground, but it's fine.
oh well. So how are you? It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. I am fine. I am not teaching at the moment. Still not. So yeah, we were going to talk
I'm jealous. I'm just jealous.
I know. Well, after a while, you maybe wouldn't be so jealous. I don't know. So,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would just try and convince myself it was just another holiday.
like an inset day.
Yeah, just a really, really long one that you don't know when it's going to end, and try not to let it stress me out, but it probably would.
I've had a month of inset day.
Yeah, maybe not so fun. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
How was your week been? Well, you already told me, and that's why we themed our show on this. But tell the people, Ray.
Okay, people. Well, my weekend was weird, actually. And that's I went as a belated birthday present. Went to an escape room with some friends, and obviously we beat it. Obviously we escaped from the room, but it was still we did very well. My knowledge of Roman numerals was particularly helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So when next time, if there's maths teachers listening and your kids are like, "Why are we learning this?" Like, well,
escape rooms. It was honestly, it was impressive. You know, when you have those moments where you're just like, I am kicking ass right now. It was amazing. It was amazing. We blitzed through that bit. So that was quite a high. And then yesterday I fell down the stairs, and my entire body has been like slowly seizing up over the past 24 hours, and I've got scrapes and cuts in all sorts of places, and I can't walk properly. My ankle's clicking, and it's just getting worse and worse with every passing minute. So it's been highs and lows the past couple days. But yeah, the past few weeks at work have been interesting.
Well, yeah, people that don't know, so you're high school and I'm primary, and you're like leading up to exam season, aren't you? So
yes, and it's very much exam classes, classes. As it, you might say as it should be. It's understandable, but it's the kind of the extra things that have me frustrated. Like there's this form that we have to fill in for all of our exam classes after the data drop, and we sat down to do it, to help each other do it today, and we only had like half an hour to kind of get through it, and I got maybe halfway through one of two, and it was so fiddly and so ridiculous, and I just kept thinking there has to be an easier way of getting the required information. Do we not have it? Why am I doing maths on my phone calculator to fill in a Word doc about, and furthermore, why do I have to? Why am I doing this? Why is anyone doing this? It was it yeah, we're all just kind of sat there screaming at various tabs that we had open and just thinking like even the math teachers who could probably do this in about 1/10 of the time that
Yeah.
it's taking the English folk
Like,
here
why
are
are we
they're probably
doing?
wondering, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
What is the point? Who does this? Who does I understand? I and my head of department, bless her, kept saying, it's useful to become,
It's
to work better
useful.
with data and to
Yeah.
understand. And I like data. I don't mind
Mm.
numbers. I enjoy a nice color coded spreadsheet. I find them quite satisfying, and I do like finding the patterns, and I do like seeing the outliers, and I actually
Mm.
quite enjoy that. I have nothing against data in principle. It's what we do with that data. It wasn't the data that I was objecting to. It was there's two sides to it, I think. There's I don't like seeing my students, my individual humans that I know,
Yeah.
reduced to a
Yeah.
color number on a spreadsheet.
Mhm.
About that
Mhm.
bothers me. These are kids.
Mhm.
Um, but the other thing that was really the why are we doing this, of today anyway, was why am I having to crunch all these numbers that have already been crunched just to type them up on a Word doc that's gonna go to someone in an office so that
Yeah.
you can turn to someone else who's not even me, who doesn't even know these individual children, is just gonna look at that form and try to justify something. I was like,
Mhm.
this whole process is ridiculous. And then trying to do it on a tiny little laptop with my fingers
Yeah.
on the touchpad, I was like, I'm too millennial for this. I need a big screen and I need a mouse. I can't handle it. Yeah. It wasn't the data that was the problem. It was the filling in of the
Mhm.
form. It was the what was being done with the data. I was like, who is this helping?
Yeah.
It's not helping me.
Uh,
I can tell you now. Looking at the pre-crunched data spreadsheet, actually, in a couple ways was informative, if not enlightening. But
Mhm.
the filling in of the Word document, that helps me zero, and it helps my students zero. So who are we doing this for?
The DFE.
I don't even know. Did they like? There's no way that every teacher of every exam class in this country is sat hunched over their laptops right now filling in that same stupid Word
Yeah.
doc. There's just no way. I
Yeah.
don't think there's got to be.
I
I don't know.
like I agree with you. There's like some data that I've done in my time as a teacher, and I've looked at it afterwards. And I've been like, this is helpful. Now I
Mm.
know what to teach. Now I know what not to
Oh yeah.
teach. But like the whole idea of like with the math tests that we do, you have to fill in the spreadsheet, and it's like an X if they get it wrong and an O if they get it right. But it takes hours, absolute
Mhm.
hours. And like you're sitting there for hours, like XO, 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 and then oh my god, I missed a number, I missed a question. Oh my god, I have to go back now. And like the amount of time that it takes to fill in the data, it's just like I could flick through the test and probably get more of an insight without having to
Mhm.
fill in a without having to like spend hours filling in a spreadsheet, like hours.
Because you're not doing it for you. Like if you can
Yeah,
get that same information or better information by flicking through something in your own way in your own time, and
hmm
you're then going to use that to help your
yeah,
students.
hmm
The spreadsheet, or in my case, this ridiculous Word document, they're not for us, and they sure as hell are not for the kids. So I just feel like anything that's not, maybe this is just my naivete and my stubbornness and my refusal to grow up and be an adult, but I just feel like we shouldn't be doing anything that doesn't make us better teachers or
hmm
make our lives easier,
hmm
and doesn't help the students learn more or be better people. So if it doesn't tick any one of those boxes, get in the bin.
get in the shredder,
That's
get in the
yeah, in the
guillotine.
shredder, directly in the
hmm
shredder, set it on fire, burn the whole thing down.
That's just like it's not efficient.
No, no, it was the
Like
inefficiency. It was the
yeah, like
inefficiency of it. Saying,
yeah, that's the biggest problem for you and for us in primary. It's just not efficient to sit there like XO, 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 XO. Oh wait, two X's and one O. No, it's just not efficient,
no.
and it's mind numbing. Well, like I could get my TA to do it. Nope, she leaves 2 seconds after the children. So nope, can't do
Exactly
that.
right.
Let me do it at
So
lunchtime. Nope, can't do it at lunchtime. I'd get like 2.5 tests done, and then I'd like
yeah,
lose the tests that I had done because I put them in a cupboard so I would know where they are. Like after school, no, it's
you
not
need chunks of
efficient.
time. We need chunks of
Yeah,
time, and chunks of time
yeah.
are in short supply
Yeah, well,
around
they're
these
like, well,
parts.
you could have this inset to do it, but first we're going to talk about this. So you don't really get the inset. You get like the last 20 minutes of the
You never
inset.
get the inset.
You
You have
never
like
get the
half an
inset.
hour. You're left alone for like half an hour, and you're
Yeah.
like, this could have been the whole day. This could have been so productive.
hmm
Um,
You could do it in
it's
your
just,
PPA time, but then when would you do your planning? So you do your
mm,
planning on the weekend so that you can do your data inputting in PPA time because you don't want to
yeah,
take all the tests home.
it's so annoying. But I remember, I'm like 14 years ago, 14 years ago when I started this, I guess. Um, my school at the time, because this was so long ago, we had a department TA and did for a couple years before
Oh, wow.
obviously that got budgeted out of the equation.
hmm
But she was amazing, and she'd do all the data input. She would do all of our photocopying. She'd slice up resources. She'd do
Wow.
all of that admin stuff that we shouldn't actually be doing,
No.
um,
How
but
long
that we
ago was
practically
this?
have to. Um,
How long ago?
2011,
Yeah, long time.
a couple years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
All the NQTs that are
it's a whole
listening are
different
like,
world.
what? Sorry, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You had an admin assistant
We had an admin assistant. We actually did.
in
Um,
education?
yeah, to the point that she would get, because she was so efficient, and she was so good at what
Yeah.
she was doing, and she was so good at anticipating what we would need for whatever. But I would sometimes just like have a brain flash and just want to like do something different or change something, and I'd just go and like try to print something or like cut stuff myself before, like in my lunch break before, because it had just come to me or whatever. Um and she'd get really angry with me if I was trying to like do her admin stuff. It's like, that's not your job, let me do this. And she'd try and like take it away and guillotine all the paper for me. But like, can you imagine that now? Can you imagine?
No. No.
No.
I once had like an agency TA in my class. It was like
Mm.
10 minutes before the kids were scheduled to come in. I was like, oh, could you just trim this quickly? And the staff were, yeah, sure, fine. Like 20 minutes went by. I was like, where is she?
Where'd she go?
She was still guillotining.
Oh, just, yeah. Sometimes it takes time. You got to get the line straight.
Yes, it's very challenging to guillotine pieces of paper. I'm aware of this now.
It can. I hope you're not being sarcastic, because it can actually be very challenging if the things aren't lined up properly
A little bit.
and you like overshoot and then the whole edge comes off and you have to reprint the thing because you
Yeah,
can't
that
read the
kind of
top
doesn't
line.
bother me.
Oh no, it
No.
bothers me. I can't stand it. I
I'd be a
can't stand
terrible.
it.
If I was your TA, you'd hate me.
I can't. And I'm forever cutting out. Like, I've only just recently stopped trimming absolutely every piece of paper in the interest of my own sanity, because I really I just want it to be able to, I want it to fit on the page,
Right,
and
I
I don't
think
want
you
there to
need
be
you
spare
need help.
space.
You need help. Or you
I
need the
did.
A4. Yeah, there's A4 extra books. Have you heard of them? They're
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
We had a few of those last year.
They're amazing. They're
Because everything
amazing.
just fits right in. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
you don't
great.
have to trim anything. Well, you have to trim the Twinkle logo off, because that's not that we don't use Twinkle. But you'd have to trim like your size.
Oh no, the worst one. The worst thing isn't Twinkle. The worst thing is or any, similar website where people make things and I buy them because that's how the world works and I love it. But the
Because you
worst thing
spent
is when
5
you
hours inputting
Google
data, so you have to buy stuff
Exactly.
sometimes.
Exactly. I can't make my own resources because I spent all of my awake time, all of my waking hours in
Filling
this
in
short
data.
blessed life entering data. The
Yeah.
worst thing isn't those websites. The worst thing is when you Google something, you're like, oh crap, I just need a revision sheet or something, and you find like they've obviously put it on the website, so it's available for exam classes to revise from, right? Like another school's resources, like they've made a revision booklet or something, or another school has made worksheets, and you download it because they're great. And why would you not? Why would we reinvent the wheel?
Absolutely. Yes, we don't do that.
And then you print them off, and then you hand them out, and the kids are like, this isn't Green School Academy. Like, what is this? And they're like, oh yeah, I think I worked there one time. I don't know. I actually haven't done that in a long time, but I caught one of the science teachers at my school doing it Friday.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good
And I was
practice.
like, you have to trim that. I was like, you have to trim that off. That is so trashy. And he was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the time. So
I wouldn't.
see, I would. See, that bothers me so much.
No, I wouldn't bother.
But I feel like that's also an example of me like creating unnecessary work for myself. So why am I complaining about data when I'm being stupid enough to trim bits of paper so they glue flat in a book, or like I'm offended by another school's logo?
I feel like it gives you pleasure.
I don't know.
So you have to do it.
It's really satisfying though.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
You get, like,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Slice.
A good trim. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you put 30 sheets of paper in and just like lines across, it's like, wow.
Sorry, 30?
30, yeah, no, I would never do that, Ray. I don't know what you're talking about. Who puts 30 pieces of paper in a guillotine?
I can get 7 before it starts going a little bit fuzzy on the edges.
Yeah, I would maybe not.
Like
30,
on the 8th
maybe.
one, it gets like you have to like really shove it, and then the edges, they're not crisp anymore. They're like
true.
stressed.
Yeah, that's terrible. This is horrific.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No.
I halve a pile. I would do 15.
What kind of guillotine do you have?
At the moment, I don't have one, but
oh right.
I haven't guillotined in a while. It's kind of sad. I haven't printed anything or Twinkle in a month.
We miss it. You miss it. You miss.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Twinkle haven't checked that I'm okay, and I'm a little bit offended.
Uh-oh.
This is something like, would you get rid of Twinkle? I think it has its uses. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say Twinkle, but sorry.
I don't know either. I think.
Sorry,
What do you mean? Like the logo from the paper, or just like in general?
No, just like some schools are very kind of no Twinkle, no AI. Just think like if you're a good teacher, you know like how to use it and how not to use it.
Exactly.
And to be quite honest, like there have been times where I've been like, this sheet, yeah, great, okay, print it, give it out, and I'm like, yeah, this is not good. But if I plan in advance, it's quite helpful.
Yeah, you have to check it. And what I tend to do is I go through these phases. If I know that we're gonna teach something, or I'm gonna teach something that I haven't done before, I'll just go on this mission, and I'll download so much stuff, but I'll check it as I go. So I'll download everything, and then I'll go through it and like delete everything that's not good enough for me or won't work for me or my class or whatever. And then I'll be left with like a bunch of kind of emergency resources, worksheets and revision sheets and stuff that I know aren't awful. So if I need something last minute, or I need something to like fill in a gap, then I can trust that stuff that I've already downloaded.
That should be one of the new Ofsted gradings. Not awful.
I mean, that's the bar, right?
That could be like the new satisfactory. Not awful.
What Nando's menu color would that be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yellow?
Green.
Should be bright green. I feel like not awful at this point in my life is pretty good.
Yeah, like a happy color. Yellow, yellow. I think yellow is a good choice. We should tell all our listeners that we have very nice advertisers who help us with all our shows. We lost an advertiser. Well, we didn't lose an advertiser. On our last show, you would have heard us talking about the Teachers Talk Connect, which Ray went to. And today's show is about what things that we shouldn't do, but that's probably something that you should have done.
Yeah, it was incredibly useful and incredibly. I've actually used a lot of things in lessons that I picked up from Teachers Talk Connect.
That's really good.
Which is amazing. I was also like on the verge of having a full-blown panic attack the entire day. So I was not, it was not because of us, not because of TTR, just because of just life. And yeah, so that was a bit weird. But the fact that I felt that awful and made myself go because I didn't want to miss it. and then managed to get as much out of it as I did, even given my state of mind, I think is a testament to how amazing everybody who was there actually is.
Yeah.
It was great.
What have you used in the classroom that you learned?
So
you,
just
picked up from it
today, just this morning, period one.
Then we can go back to complaining.
Yeah. So this is a positive thing. We don't like to do this here. So just this morning,
it's a positive pause.
I did a whole thing on thesis statements and introductions with my year 11s on how, as part of feeding back on their most recent mock exams. And I used kind of a combination of a couple different presentations that were given in the English rooms at TTR Connect, and it went over pretty well. I think they kind of, I think I scared them a bit. I think I went in a bit too hard with it. I think I was a little bit too enthusiastic, if I'm honest, about the things that I was like, and these really good examples, and they were like, calm down. But no, but it was good. I think it made things click for them. A couple, you try different things and you see what sticks with different people. But yeah, I wouldn't have
nice.
Had the resources or because of time and our jobs and constant spreadsheet filling in, wouldn't have had this headspace to think through that and come up with examples and lessons from my own head. So I mean, this is what teachers do best, right? When we're sharing good practice and actually supporting each other and using things and adjusting things to make it work for us and our students. It just makes everything so much easier. So yeah, incredibly worthwhile day in spite of my brain trying to sabotage it. It was great.
Well, because we never get the chance to network because as we said at the beginning, we're too busy doing data input.
Yeah.
And sitting in and having insets, false promises for data inputting insets. But hopefully our sponsors can help you out with some of your other teaching problems. So I think we have a new sponsor. They are called Key Allo. They won an award at BET, which was only a few weeks ago. So Key Allo is a 100% free tool for thoughtful, inclusive classroom discussion. Students can instantly and simultaneously create an interactive map of the discussion, deepening their subject knowledge and enhancing their critical thinking skills. Wow. So they have over 1 million educators, so I assume it's around the world. And students are already using Key Allo to make the world a more thoughtful place. You can join them at keyalloedu.com. We can try and pop the website on the screen in a few minutes. And then, of course, we have John Cat, our usual sponsors who have been with us a long time. John Cat Educational, they're publishers and they have professional development books and resources on their website. It's great for any kind of teaching, primary, higher education, secondary. You can level up your professional development, and they also have a website, johncatbookshop.com, and we have a discount code which is JCTTR2425, and you get 20% off your order. Maybe they have a book on data input.
I don't want to book on it. I just want it to stop.
How to?
I just want it to stop. And the other thing, how to not, full stop.
How to avoid.
Yeah. The other thing that I was moaning about today, my head of department has she is a saint. She actually is a saint. She's one of the genuinely nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. But I feel like I'm going to push her to her limit one day because just the level of the complaining that comes out of my mouth. So today as well, it was pointing out, I think that I think this is justified. I have no idea what your viewpoint is on this as a primary teacher, because I don't know how different things are for you, right? But in secondary, if you're a history teacher, okay, and you have a year 11 class and a year 13 class and all the other year groups and whatever, so if they say you're going to fill in this spreadsheet or this insane illogical Word document or whatever it is after every data drop for every exam class, you've got your one year 11 history class, you've got your year 13 history class. That's it, right?
Yeah.
If you're an English teacher, you've got potentially year 13 literature in my school, year 13 language and literature. Okay. Those are, I don't know if any English teacher actually has both of those right now. I don't think so. I don't know. Anyway. But you absolutely 100% will have year 11 English and year 11 literature. So we have double the data faff that everyone else has every single time, guaranteed. The only other exception, so I said this, and then someone else was like, well, science have different, there's different sciences, and I don't even know how that, I don't even know. And I was like, okay, cool, great, then science gets a raw deal as well. Then they should also be complaining, because if people are like, here's this 1 hour long meeting where you should be able to designate this time to do this stupid task that doesn't actually help anybody, and then you can get it done. Okay, great. So maths have done it. Humanities each have done it. Social science have done it. Whatever have done it. English haven't done it because it takes us double. I guess science haven't done it because it takes them 2 or 3 times or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't speak chemistry to fill in the stupid thing that everybody else can get done in the time. And no one ever, like, English doesn't, we're not just gifted another hour to get it done. Science isn't just gifted more time to get it done. We're just supposed to do it like I guess I should be doing it right now because I didn't get it finished today. It's 8:00. No. Like, no one, I'm so tired. Like, I'm to the point that I'm not even bitter about my career or like working in a UK school, like education in this country specifically being a hot mess. I'm now bitter about my subject as well, and how that's never actually recognized as having to do more stupid, pointless things, having to do double the amount, like double the pointless things that everybody else does.
Yeah, right. It's true. And like, it's in primary, if we do a maths test, like higher up in the school, if it's an arithmetic test, it would get the kids to mark it. But if we do a long piece of writing, I have to mark it myself. And like, you know, that takes much more time than calling out answers and having the kids just tick or cross on a math test. So you're right. And then in primary, you get both sides of it.
Yeah. But when you're filling in the forms, like, you're filling in all those spreadsheets with the little X's and O's. Does it, well, I guess everyone just has like their own class, don't they, for different.
Yeah.
It's not like you teach one subject. Like, you don't have one exam class. You have like the whole of year 6, right? Yeah. And then you have to fill in all the data for everything for them.
Yeah. So there's like three maths tests. Then there's a reading test. Then you have a long piece of writing to mark. So it's just like it's data for everything.
Yeah.
First you do the math. There's 3 maths tests. So first you do the math test, then you have to do the grammar test, and then you have to do the reading test. In fact, one of the schools that I worked at did the same maths test that I've done a few times. I was like, so do we fill in the spreadsheet? And the maths lead was like, no, we don't do that. All the teachers would kill me. I was like, that's really, really nice. I think you should stay in education.
Wait, so who'd you
just didn't do it? Didn't do it.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. I was sat there today and I was like, if I just don't have time to do this, if I just don't,
what's gonna happen?
Like, is the sky gonna fall?
No, exactly.
Is the world gonna end? Are these kids that would have gotten 4s gonna get twos
Like,
because I didn't fill in a Word document.
I actually would rather like flick through it and just scribble notes down. I think it's more beneficial.
Yeah. But it's the constant, like, I just wish I was deeply unbothered by this, as I probably sound. But the reason I'm so angry is because, as I've had to say to somebody today already, I want to do things properly or I don't want to do them at all. And I feel like we're constantly, as teachers, having to half-ass things because we don't have time to do it properly. And it's like, that bothers me. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just not do it at all.
Yeah.
So why are we doing it? Why are we doing this?
I noticed that from how you speak about your trimming.
Thanks.
We have a lot of listeners. Maybe some of our listeners can tell us the things that they don't like to do. But it's not like don't like to do. For me, it's more like I don't see the purpose in doing it. It's not don't like to do it because there are some things that I don't like to do, but I know there's an end purpose, so I'll do it. Right? Like marking a long piece of writing. I don't always enjoy it because it takes time. And if you don't do it, in lesson and you do it at the end of the day, because who knows what happened in the middle of the lesson that you couldn't, I feel like you sit there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you read pieces of writing, and like, where are the full stops? It just doesn't make any sense. It's killing me.
Yeah, it does.
So, like, some things that you don't enjoy them as a teacher, but there's still purpose to them. But when there's just no purpose to it,
and that's the problem, right?
At my first school, all the subject leads were given a sheet. It was like, whenever you do something for your subject, write down when you did it and what you did. Well, why?
Why?
Because if I did it and it has an impact, you'll see the impact. I need to record that I did it, and when no, please, come on. You shouldn't need to record that I did it because I did it.
How much of this, like, I feel like it fits into, they're trying to do something that they think Ofsted wants, or they don't trust us to be professionals.
Yep, there's that.
And we need to prove ourselves, validate our paycheck, I guess. Or they, I just forgot the third reason, which means it obviously wasn't a good one. So, like, what is it? Just Ofsted and then micromanagement?
I think it comes down to like the confidence of your senior leadership team. I agree with you. You hired me to do this job. You should trust me to do it without having to need paperwork to back up what I'm doing and what I'm saying. Is that the cat?
Can you hear the cats? Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, and it's just really frustrating. It's like, why did you hire me as a professional adult to do this job, and then I have to, I mean, I'm not saying my school is like that. I'm not saying this one absolutely insane document that we have to fill in is like, they're not micromanaging, and they actually do trust people, and my colleagues are generally lovely. But I have worked in an incredibly toxic place that was just everybody breathing down your neck constantly. And it's just,
it's not nice.
I don't know why. No, I don't know why anyone would ever put up with that. Like,
I actually don't think you can teach properly in those kind of environments, because you're constantly like looking over your shoulder, you're constantly second guessing, you're constantly wondering, do they want me to teach this way? When actually, if you're experienced and you know what you're doing, you should have your own way of teaching. Well, even if you're not experienced, you have to like find your own way of doing it, not the way you think someone else wants you to do it.
Yeah, supported to find your own way rather than bullied into doing it a certain way. Yeah. So, I think that's a lot of it. A lot of it's control or fear. Like, you have to do this stupid, pointless task because the head of department says so, or their line manager says so, or the head says so, or the governor say so, or whoever. And no one actually has,
like, why?
Yeah, no one has the guts to turn around and be like, no, we're not making our staff do this. Like, I feel like a huge part of being a leader is being that buffer. I think I've said this on the show before. You have to be a buffer between the onslaught of stuff from your higher up and your people below you. Like, you can't just shovel it
Yeah, it's
downhill.
true.
You
Yeah,
have to
it's
be a
true.
buffer, and you
Yeah.
have to be willing to protect your team. And so many people just aren't willing to do that.
Like, yeah.
It's
But that's
just,
like, you said,
it's
like, are we doing
horrible.
it for Ofsted? And some leadership teams 100% do it for Ofsted. And then you get
Yeah.
other leadership teams that are like, no, we're not doing that in our school. We don't need to, and it's not going to have a profound impact, so we're not doing it. But
And
I feel like
that's what it should be.
those kind of leadership teams are hard to find in education.
Yeah. Especially if you're in a school that's through possibly no fault of the individuals on the leadership team. It's in some kind of special measures, or it's new, or it's just changed from one, or there's a new like there's so many situations that would make people a little bit less confident or feel like they don't have the evidence, or they're not in a position to take that stand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's which I understand, but also stop making your team do pointless stuff.
Yeah.
just push back. Just say no. Just say no. Because the little drones, the little worker bees, they're never like, they don't have that. They don't have as much power, and you have to protect that hive.
Yeah.
What is JBL saying? I worked until 6 p.m. every day from a 7 a.m. start. What I didn't get done in that time, I didn't care about. If they asked me for stupid data sheets, I did no marking and refused to apologize for it. And do you know what? I feel like that is going to be my approach this week with those stupid data sheets. And luckily we have a little bit of gain time because you're 12 on work experience, but I lost my one gained period to a meeting today. So I think I've only got one or two. Of course
you
I've only got one or two more. But I'm gonna try and get those done in that time. And if it doesn't get done, it is not getting done in the evenings, and it is not getting done on the weekend.
And you shouldn't be expected to.
No, because I've got, marking and planning and stuff. And marking of things that I don't actually have to mark, and I don't according to the policy, I don't have to mark them in as much detail as I am. I'm marking them the way I'm marking them because I know it's going to help the students. I'm doing what I know in a very specific way that I know is going to help them. I'm not doing the marking because I have to do the marking. I've chosen to give them this thing, and I've chosen to feedback the way that I'm doing it. And that to me is more important than this stupid data sheet that there's an official deadline for. I don't care. I
think you should rename the file on the school server. Right?
Stupid data.
And manually.
They're Word documents. Why are we doing anyway?
Why is it a Word document?
Oh, don't they
don't want to give. I know.
Why aren't we doing it on PowerPoint?
They don't want to give. They don't want to give the English teachers spreadsheets. It's okay, Ray. It's okay.
I like a spreadsheet.
I bet the math teachers got spreadsheets. I think you should look into that because it's actually not fair.
But they got a second email. There was the one that went out to all staff with the template, and then the maths department got a second email.
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
Please ignore.
Highly confidential.
Yeah. This spreadsheet has complex formulas in it, and we didn't want to send it to the English department.
They'd screw it up somehow.
Yeah.
We do have our own spreadsheets, actually. We're okay.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. So what was the other? I feel like we've gone on endlessly about my stupid data.
We spoke about data for a long time, but data in fake inset promises, we don't appreciate them.
Yeah. What other
you
stupid things?
You don't appreciate my guillotining, which is fine.
No,
okay with
I
that.
don't. But what other? I was thinking this is just not something that happened today, but I was thinking of other things that like in my recent teaching career, I've just sat there going, why are we doing this? Oh, okay. Someone actually said this to me, and I didn't agree because I think it's actually quite useful. Okay. I feel like if I were in your position as a primary school teacher and someone tried to pull this on an inset, I would cringe so hard that I'd die on the spot. So,
Okay,
you
let's
know, in
see.
insets where they're trying
Mhm.
to demonstrate
Yeah.
like a technique or an activity or a task or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they get you to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
They get the teachers in the room to do the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, 9 times out of 10, depending on what the thing is, I'm like, this is obviously valuable because you're experiencing what the students are experiencing. You can
Mhm.
anticipate who's going to respond how to
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and therefore
Mhm.
adapt it, like whatever. Um,
Mhm.
but a couple people have said, and one person said very recently, um, they hate that. Like they hate it. They sit
Mm,
there the entire time thinking like, why are we being
cringing,
treated
yeah.
like children?
Mhm.
Why are we doing this? Can you not just like take us through it or get us to watch a video of kids doing the thing of
Watch a
like the
video.
teacher? Like, no, but like what do you know what I mean? I think they were thinking like in a classroom, like you film a teacher delivering it in a classroom so you see how the teacher would deliver it to students so that in
Yeah.
a way that you also don't feel like a student being
Yep.
patronized,
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um
yeah.
so you see it in a classroom, in an actual classroom environment and how it would function rather
Mhm.
than being made to like teacher and role participate. But
Yeah.
I feel like experiencing the actual activity or the process
I agree
yourself
with you.
is
Yeah.
valuable. But
Yes,
like
I agree with you.
have you ever had people come in an inset day or a training day or something and like make you do some embarrassing stuff for 6-year-olds?
Not embarrassing. No. Just before I
Yeah,
left,
but
we had
your
a
version
maths.
you're a
My version
primary
of
teacher. So
embarrassing is different to yours.
would I think it was embarrassing?
Our insets aren't that different to yours.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
No. We had maths inset just before I left, and the maths lead was like, "Here's some resources, like figure out what to do with them." Right? Because if you want
Okay.
if you want the kids to use them and learn with them, then you need to do it so that you understand the
Right?
thought process of how to
Right.
do it. And a
This is
YouTube
yeah, this
video
is
is not
my
going to
logic.
do that. I feel
Yeah.
like your brain as the teacher has to go through the same steps as the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, how can you teach it?
That's yeah, I
I
get
get
it.
it though, because like just before I joined the school, I went in for an inset. We had this like physical restraint training, and like that was a little bit awkward.
What did you have to restrain each other?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we had to practice on each other. Those kind of people wouldn't like that, and I didn't love it. Mostly because I just joined the school and I didn't know anybody. So to kind of be like, "Hello, can I restrain you? Nice to meet you. I'm Lianne." It's a bit awkward
yeah. But
that
I
I
feel
didn't
like
love.
that's even more it's like the pepper spray thing, right? Like don't cops and stuff people who carry certain sprays and stuff, they get sprayed in the face, they don't know what it feels like. Like
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
have to know if you've got your arm around somebody, you need to know what that
know what it
translates
feels like.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree with you. But I understand from like the flip side that it can be embarrassing. Actually, I remember I had like a 4-day maths course ages ago when I first started teaching. It was 4 days, and it went through every year group in the primary spectrum. So the first few days I was fine because it was the young year groups, and it got to year six, and I hadn't taught year six yet. I was in only in year two. I was like, they were like, okay, and so this is this activity, and I know your cat would like to be a TTR host. We can speak to Tom about it.
She can't even meow properly, don't. Yeah.
She can't me out properly. We're equal opportunities employer. It's fine. Yeah, I remember. I actually remember the activity. It was a really cool activity. Now I remember it and I know how to do it. But
Hmm.
we made a protractor. No, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like a
Cool.
paper one, like a human sized one was really really
Oh,
cool.
wow.
But I remember sitting there and they explained it and they're like, okay, go and do it. And I was like, I don't know what to do.
Mm.
I'm just gonna sit at the table and hopefully somebody will give me something and I'll cut something out and it'll look like I'm doing it right.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I get that. I think there's like two sides to it. You have to know what the kids are gonna go through so you have to do it yourself. But then it can be quite like anxiety inducing, I guess, if it's a concept that you actually don't get, and then the person running the inset is like, okay, now you're going to do it. It's really anxiety inducing, but then look, it's going to be the same for the children actually. So
Exactly.
it's good that you're going through those emotions. You understand the kids hopefully a bit better.
Yeah. I remember thinking when I first moved over here in 2010 and to do my PGC that I was really glad that I went to a school that had like their own kind of, well, I went to high school in a country that had their own version of GCSEs, because if I'd stayed in Canada where I lived when I was a kid, we wouldn't have done anything like these exams. Like it just doesn't exist in the school system doesn't have exams like we do here at all. And I remember thinking like I would have been so if I'd somehow ended up on a path that led me here in the end, I would have absolutely no idea, zero idea, what that exam experience was like and what these kids went through and how to sit those exams. Like it just would have been so foreign to me in every way. I wouldn't have been able to relate to it. I'd have no frame of reference, and I would have really, really wanted to sit them, like not like as formally as possible, to sit as many as possible without actually having to like pay to take them. But but I would have wanted that experience because you have to know. I feel like you have to know as much as possible from personal experience. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we agree on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I understand where the other people come from on like the other side of the argument, but I think you have to go through it. It's important.
Yeah.
Just don't go on a 4-day maths course and you'll be fine.
Yeah. What about marking? What about marking in general? Like, do you ever have to, or have you ever had to mark things and you just sat there like, why am I doing this? What's the point?
Yeah, I'm also at the big. Yeah, I think maths I don't mind. Like maths is quick. The like kind of like the foundation subjects in primary and the younger years where I kind of have taught mostly. It's fine. Like it doesn't take very long. But the long writes, and maybe you relate to this as a high school English teacher. If you're good, you can get round and do it in the lesson. But if you have tricky classes, challenging kids, you spend half the lesson trying to convince a kid to actually do the writing, you can't get round and mark. So you sit there. This I hate. Sitting there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when everyone's gone home, marking the work, like I said before. It's like, I actually find it soul destroying sometimes because you get to a kid and like I said, there's no full stops. There's no capital letters. I can barely read it. And it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you supposed to do at 5 in the afternoon about that? And then the next day,
nothing.
Like, okay, we're gonna edit it the next day. And we're gonna edit work with a 7-year-old. Really, the next day, and then you give it to them. And, okay, so what did you write? What is this?
I don't know.
And they stare at it for 5 minutes. They're like, I don't know. Okay, so well, you don't know. I definitely don't know. So let's just rewrite it, shall we?
Do they like, does 7-year-old, my nephew's 7 and he seems to remember all the stuff you wouldn't want him to remember. All the stuff you hope just goes right over his head. He goes straight in there. Do 7-year-olds remember what they learned yesterday? Like, I teach 17-year-olds and they do.
They do. Yeah. Well, it depends if it's a good teacher, be.
Oh yeah, okay. Right, fine. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they remember. Depends how you teach it, doesn't it? If you use a twinkle PowerPoint. I don't know. If you use a PowerPoint,
or if you find those really good revision sheets from the other schools.
From the other school, yeah.
Yeah.
If you use the worksheet from Apple High School, then yeah, maybe not, but
yeah. Green Apple High, yeah.
Great Apple High.
With the watermark, their logo watermarked on every single page, so you can't cut it off. Yeah,
you can't.
Those are the good ones.
The kids are like, there's something over the words. That's fine. You can still read it.
Just decoration.
I printed up a math sheet once, and I think I took a photo of it because I couldn't print it, and then I printed it, and people in the staff room were like, that's really hard to read. I was like, no, it's fine. It's okay. That I don't like. I really don't like it when the kids who are 7 are like, I can't read it. I'm like, sorry, if I can read it, you can read it. It says 12 plus 12, it's fine, go do it.
Oh.
It was a great sheet. I can't find it anywhere else. I didn't know how to fix it. Here you go.
Tough.
And I
Yeah.
trimmed it. Yeah, tough. Just I trimmed it.
15
Just
at a
do it.
time.
I spent 20 minutes trimming it. You're gonna do it.
That is, yeah.
I don't
It's
like
such a
that when you
horrible
find a
feeling.
really
Photo.
great sheet, right?
Yeah.
And it's got a watermark on it.
Yeah.
That is annoying. That's worse than data input.
Yeah. No.
Get very
No.
excited because you
No,
find
you
a
got
really
me going along
appropriate
with you
sheet.
there because I was like totally on
Okay.
board, and then I actually thought about it
Okay.
for a second. No.
But at least like
No.
the data input in the end is helpful.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes you go on
No.
like a long
No.
journey looking. No.
No. You got me again.
Okay.
Looking
Okay.
at the data, like seeing the data. Okay, the initial data input, so you can see patterns and stuff. Like, and
Yeah.
because I like
Yeah.
visual things. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
anything that can be
Mhm.
color coded, great.
The cat
Cats are
agrees
back.
with me. Just by the way.
Yep. That's useful. That can be useful depending on what you do with it. Obviously, it can be
Mhm.
informative. But then taking that data, mashing it up a little bit, and spitting it out onto some other file and inputting that
Yeah, that's
rejig
no.
data
Yeah, no.
again.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
No. The
I'm
cat
so
agrees.
sorry.
No, don't do it.
He's screaming because we keep saying the D word.
Also, the data input, okay, fine. The class teacher, subject teacher should probably be doing that. But like, I don't know. I think like the analyzing of the data, there are people that get TLRs and I think they should be doing that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then like you give it back to me once you've analyzed it, and then I'll use it to teach.
And how about you go through after you've analyzed it, and then you decide if you have any questions that you want to ask me, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm not going to preempt your questions. I'm also not going to answer 15 generic questions that may or may not apply to me, my students, or my subject. So just go do your thing, poke around with the numbers, and if you have any queries, my door is open. Let's do it that way.
Send me an email.
Yeah, just send me an email. Don't come in my room.
I remember when I very first started teaching, we used to have pupil progress, and the head would be like, so why hasn't this child made progress? Like, I don't know, because they're 6.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in their brain. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But just before we go, we'll tell you guys about our sponsors. We have Key Allo, who are a BET award-winning. Key Allo is the 100% free tool for thoughtful, inclusive classroom discussion. Students can instantly and simultaneously create an interactive map of a discussion. They can deepen their subject knowledge, which is what Ofsted want, by the way. Just a side note. It can enhance their critical thinking skills. That's great. It's a skill. We're supposed to be teaching skills now. Very important.
Yeah, you are.
They have over 1 million educators and students are already using Key Allo to make the world a more thoughtful place. You can join them today at keyallo-edu.com. We also have the brilliant John Catt, who have been our sponsors for a very long time, and they do professional development books and resources that support your teaching and your learning in schools, in early years, all the way up to further education. You can go to their website, johncattbookshop.com, and you can use the code JCTTR2425 to get 20% off your order.
And read.
I bet they have books
you can
on
read.
data.
No, I was just gonna say you can read instead of inputting data.
Yeah, you should read books instead of inputting data. That is our recommendation. That's our final recommendation. Buy a book from John Catt, level up your
Read it.
professional development,
Yeah.
and then go to your head of department and be like, I'm not doing it because John Catt said I don't have to. Look in the book.
Good luck with
Good
that.
luck.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, good luck.
Yep.
Yeah. So Ray's in school tomorrow. I unfortunately am not.
Thanks, Lianne.
It's okay. We like to be honest on TTR.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
great.
not fake. This is not fake news.
No, this is 100% true misery. That's what this is.
This is a true teacher chat with a cat.
Oh, there's two. Oh,
Two cats.
I can just see it. There's two. Yeah. That's why they're so loud. They're always trying to
Yeah,
kill
we're
each
having
other.
a chat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you've like logged in to listen to us, thank you very much.
Mhm.
If you've logged in just to see Ray's cat, that's also okay because our numbers go up either way. That doesn't matter why you're here, but we appreciate you coming to listen to us.
We do, and so do the cats.
And so do the cats. Yes. On that note, yeah. See,
All right.
The cat knows that we're done for the evening. Your cats are very
Yeah.
clever. They know.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Right.
thank you
Well,
for
have
listening.
a lovely evening.
Yes,
It's
thank
been
you.
grand.
It's been lovely. See you in a fortnight.
Talk to you soon.
See you later.
Outstanding and world-class vision and world-class this.
I'm a real leadership geek, honestly. I've spent my whole career reading books and chatting to people.
I just find the whole thing and the announcement, the way it's been announced, bizarre.
If you could move away from a model where teachers are so intensely focused.